Moby was on hand to perform at a fundraiser at the East River Park Amphitheater in Manhattan, New York City on Thursday, July 13th. The electro rocker joined Laura Dawn and Daron Murphy for a set as guests enjoyed cocktails and food with proceeds going to benefit the Coastal Marine Resource Center. One of the goals of the center is to raise awareness for coastal conservation and public waterfront access, one of which is East River Park. The park is in desperate need of repair, as both the walkways and amphitheater are in need of an overhaul. Moby grew up close to the park and said it was a special place.
I grew up around here, and I've spent so much time in this particular park. And the issue of cleaning up the waterways, and I think it's just incredibly important. And selfishly, I benefit because this is my neighborhood. Well, I remember the park in the late '80s, and it was really rough. I mean, it had a certain charm, like the old band shell. I have to say I really miss the old band shell because it was covered in graffiti, and it was this beautiful relic from the time of Robert Moses, and it was an amazing, iconic structure.
The park is a symbol of the refacing of the New York City shorelines and parks, and Moby talked about the challenge of making the land livable for residents and tourists.
I love what they're doing to East River Park. I love what they're doing to the parks in New York in general because, they're making them more usable, and they're beautifying them, and they're cleaning them up. And everything else they're doing in East River Park is fantastic, but I really do miss the old band shell. Well, for the longest time, the coastal area around New York City, it was all industrial. It was wharfs and piers, and it was all based around shipping. And then especially in Williamsburg and Greenpoint, it was all industrial factories. And then as New York stopped being a manufacturing base, and as New York stopped being, a leading port of the world, the piers closed down, the factories closed down, but they didn't get cleared away. So you had all this abandoned real estate on the water, and the rich people moved to the middle of Manhattan, and the fringes were all sort of no man's land. And I think people are just now remembering that New York is a coastal city, and that Manhattan is an island, and that, one of the things that makes New York so special is it's surrounded by water. It's one of our most precious resources. Just imagine if Manhattan were landlocked, it wouldn't be nearly as special.
Moby has played with Dawn and Murphy for various events for MoveOn.org, which seeks to have health coverage for all Americans and to create energy independence from Middle East oil.
Cold-hearted, stuck in this, couldn't say the kindest words.